Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Cold War drama, communist drama. I Was a Communist for the FBI, starring Dana Andrews. This goes back to January 7th, 1953. Jed Peeler loves these episodes. Little Boy Blue turned red.
I was a communist for the FBI. Starring Dana Andrews in an exciting tale of danger and espionage. I was a communist for the FBI. From the actual records and authentic experiences of Matt Cvetic come many of the incidents in this unusual story. Here is our star, Dana Andrews, as Matt Cvetic, who for 9 fantastic years lived as a communist for the FBI. I'm glad it's over. The weird Alice in Wonderland fantasy of being a communist. Of pretending to the Reds that I was helping to plunder my own country. The reports, the strange rendezvous, the mail drops, code words, the intrigue, and the both ends against the middle. A 9 years nightmare. I'm glad it's over. But I'm glad it happened. Now, here is Dana Andrews as Matt Cvetic, Undercover Man. This story from the confidential file is marked Little Boy Blue Turned Red. No, I can't take this anymore. I'll crack. I'll break wide open. I've got to call my FBI contact. What's his code name now? Oh, come on, Cvetic. Look alive or you'll get dead. Longstreet, that's it. Find out who was Paul Ippolito and why was he murdered. Paul Ippolito. The name rings bells. Somehow, somewhere. I ought to know this man. I've got to know why he was killed. Longstreet, dial Longstreet.
Yes?
Longstreet, please.
Who wants it?
Cvetic.
Who?
What? Oh, McClellan. McClellan.
Go ahead, McClellan.
I've got to see you. Urgent.
Is it terribly urgent, or is it those nerves again?
Well, it's nerves, I guess.
Rendezvous Green at 3. I'll see him. And, remember, you've had the shakes before.
Not like this.
So long.
Not like this.
Look, Matt, if your complexion has to match the rendezvous, let's dig up a rendezvous suntan. You look awful.
You've got to answer me on this Ippolito case.
What's there to talk about?
An honest tradesman without enemies is waylaid in an alley and killed. Without being robbed. Ippolito. It's a foreign name, like mine.
Well?
The speculation is that he was an FBI undercover man, like me.
Just speculation. Have you spoken to Revson today?
Now you've got it. No, I haven't spoken to Revson. I telephoned in at 8:30 a.m. as usual. No answer. I've waited for his call at the various checkpoints we have set up. No call. Isn't that significant to you? It's the silent treatment. It means I'm next.
Oh, Matt.
I'm telling you.
Shh, quiet.
I'm telling you this, too. They won't stop with one killing.
Assuming Ippolito was the one.
They'll send the same hatchet men after others while they're on the subject.
On the theory that they can't hang higher for 3 murders than for 1. I'm telling you.
This has all happened before, Matt. Nerves.
Okay. Nerves. Can you let me have $20?
Glad to. You think you'll need it? You're not really afraid of being dead before nightfall?
The reason I want the money, I want them to find cash on me, too. So you'll know robbery wasn't the motive. My FBI contact leaves first. I wait 10 minutes, absently watching a thin guy play the pinball machine. Then I walk out. Halfway down the block, I step into a doorway for a routine check to see if I'm being followed. Citizens, I am being followed. The lean man of the pinball machine is 150 feet behind me. Scratch Rendezvous Green, it's discovered. And maybe scratch Matt Cvetic. He's discovered too, maybe.
Yes?
Long Street?
Who is this?
McClellan.
Go ahead.
Look, I'm being tailed. It happened to Ippolito, and it's happening to me. I know.
No, you don't know. I was shadowed too, but I think I looked innocent to him. Anyway, I shook him.
I can't shake this guy. He's out to get me. What has he got to lose? He's liquidated 1 guy already. Hello?
Where are you?
Pay station, Pine and Liberty.
What does your man look like?
He's lean and mean in a blue gabardine suit.
Keep talking till our men can get started down there.
Say, there's another guy out there.
What like?
This one is short and fat, but solid. Looks like a rough man at close quarters. Brown suit.
Got it.
By the way, scratch Rendezvous Green.
Naturally. Keep on talking.
I'm a blank. My mouth like steel wool.
We'll say anything. You've got to hold those shadows there a while.
A little toy dog is covered with dust, but sturdy and staunch he stands.
What?
Songs my mother taught me. The little toy soldier is red with rust, and his musket molds in his hands. Finally, we ring off. I've never felt so alone. I'd like to call my mother. Talk to my brother Tip. But they'd know something is wrong. And anyhow, they don't have much use for the son who disgraced the family by turning red. I leave the phone booth and go outside. Lean and mean and stylish stout tag right after me. I try, all right. I try every trick in the book, but they're too good. Well, I'm not good enough. I can't shake them. I can't. Hours. All day, the chase. It gets darker. They close in to 100 feet. Twilight, almost nightfall. 50 feet. Keep your nerves, Cvetic. Don't lose your head. Stay alive if you can. But if you can't, then die with dignity. They'd like to see you crawl to them. Don't do it, boy. Don't do it. Where to? Where to now? There. A penny arcade. Crowded with people and gaudy machines. Players kill at chess, checkers. Beat the expert. Pinball machines. Souvenirs. If I can only get lost in there. I start running. Plunge into the crowd. Work my way to the man in charge of the shooting gallery. Mac. Oh, tell me something, Mac.
Sure, my name is Bert.
How do I get out of here?
Same way you got in?
Is there a back exit?
Only for the use of hoods on the land.
Well, tell me.
Fugitives from wives, not accommodated.
Could I just have an envelope and pencil and paper, please?
Oh, just so Junior can write home to Mama, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
You mean it?
Please.
Well, there's no such thing around this ignorant crowd. Why don't you send her a record of your voice instead, 2 bits?
Where? How?
Right over there, that little booth. You drop in a quarter, pull a lever, talk 1 full minute, recite, sing, blow your nose, record slides out, you address it, drop it in a slot, the concessionaire mails it for you. It's a good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I managed to ease over to the little recording booth. I pop in and pull the curtain. I drop a quarter in the slot. A light goes on. I talk close to the microphone. Dear Mom, I can't say much, but what I'm saying is important. I want you to know I'm still the son you hoped I'd be. I think I've been a pretty good American, even when you thought I was a communist. I'm not, Mom. I never was. I've been working for the FBI all this time. They can tell you. And they'll tell you how many times I wanted to quit. Because I loved you all so much. And I didn't want you all to think I disgraced the family. You can tell everybody that your boy made good in America. It's okay if you cry a little bit for me, but then forget it. And always try to think of me as your little boy Blue before he turned red. Well, so long, Mom. Give everybody my love. This is your son, Matty, signing off. The record drops down. I address the label to my mother and drop it in a slotted box. Then walk out under the suspicious eyes of lean, mean, and stylish Stout. I walk outside. It's dark. Dignity, I tell myself. Don't crawl to them and don't run. Walk. Closing in now. Closer. Beside me now. One at each elbow. Walking me. Where? We don't go far. We go to the piano studio where the cell meets when we don't want to risk an FBI tap. Behind the desk, looking self-satisfied, is Comrade Revson.
Cvetic.
Revson, why have these two jokers been following me?
Respect, Comrade Cvetic, respect.
Why have they been shadowing me? And where do we go from here?
Did you make any mistakes today, Comrade Cvetic?
All I did was walk fast.
We thought the time was opportune for a general check on some comrades.
How opportune? A check on what comrades?
Yesterday, a man named Ippolito met violent death.
Yeah?
Perhaps some guilty traitors in our ranks think Ippolito was purged for being an FBI stool pigeon. They wonder who is next, knowing that purges are undertaken on a fairly wholesale basis.
Well, was Ippolito killed for stool pigeoning for the FBI?
Who knows? And what matter? Cvetic, you weren't panicked into making any mistakes today, were you?
If I did, Comrades Mutt and Jeff here will tell you all about it.
Cvetic, I congratulate you on passing your test. Well done, all of you. That is all. Go.
I walk down the dark stairs to the street, and two men pass me and disappear into the thin, cold drizzle. I suspect they're the watchful FBI shadows that Longstreet sent. I can't know. I'm not supposed to know. Anyhow, the danger is over. Over. I stop. The cold rain settles in my marrow, jellying my blood. That record telling my mother I'm FBI. I dictated it when I thought I was a dead man anyhow. If Mom plays that record, sooner or later I will be a dead man. Did I make any mistakes, Revson asked me. And what a mistake.
From January 7th, 1953, I Was a Communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Dana Andrews and I Was a Communist for the FBI, January 7th, 1953.
Now back to Dana Andrews, starring as Matt Cvetic in I Was a Communist for the FBI, and the second act of our story.
Again and again, the FBI has warned me not to tell anybody I'm an undercover man. But that record will tell my mother. And sooner or later, the comrades will find out about it. One way or another, it'll percolate down to them, and I'll be dead. I've got to keep her from playing that record. I telephone Mom and get my younger brother, Tip, instead. Tip, who despises me for having gone communist.
Hello?
Oh, Tip, this is Matt. I sent Mom, one of those 2-bit records you make in penny arcades and amusement parks.
Many thanks.
Look, Tip, when the record comes, tell Mom not to play it.
Why? Why did you send it if you don't want her to play it?
I thought it would make her happy, that's why.
What made you change your mind about making her happy?
I can't explain that, Tip.
Mom could stand a little happiness. I'll play it, and if I think she should hear it, she'll hear it.
You can't do that.
Can't wait for your 20 arrive, Matt.
Tip! Tip! I'm in real trouble again. Now I've got to get that record before it gets into the mail. I've got to get back to that penny arcade and get them to open up the box for me. They'll do it. They've got to. It's life and death to me. Even if I can't explain to them why it's life and death. That old saw. It's late, and the shooting gallery's closing up when I approach Bert, the sharp character, again. And get nowhere.
Look, chum, I can't do anything for you.
Now, why can't you? It's my record, and you've got it. I want it back.
We don't have nothing to do with that machine.
It's your machine?
We just leased the space it's on to the operator, that's all.
Oh, what about him, then? When does he unlock the box and get out the record?
Wednesday morning, 11 a.m.
You sure about that now?
No, I'm just practicing up on my curves. Sure, I'm sure.
But if I wait until Wednesday, I'll go out of my mind. I wander around the arcade and buy a souvenir letter opener of steel and plastic. Then I slip into the recording booth. For 10 minutes, I try and lift and gouge at the box until the letter opener is twisted and bent and the box mutilated, but unopened. It's no use. I've just got to wait. All the next day, I'm useless to anybody, including myself. I don't eat. I don't sleep. I just look at clocks. Centuries later, it's finally Wednesday morning, 11 a.m., and I'm at the penny arcade waiting for the man to collect those records. 11:10, 11:25. I can't stand it anymore. I go to Bert at the shooting gallery, learning some more funny things to say out of a comic book. Oh, Bert, I've been waiting around for the man to take those records out, remember?
Oh, he won't be here today.
But you said he would be here.
He was here yesterday.
What?
Yesterday.
But you said he...
Did I did. But some joker tried to jimmy the machine Monday night and jammed it. Fella had to come out yesterday to fix it, so while he was at it, he emptied the record chest.
Well, then my record's gone.
Yesterday.
Well, maybe I can call him up before he puts the record in the mail.
Maybe. I'll get you his number if you wait a minute. His name is DeGamo.
Okay. Send me your name and address and the name of the addressee, and I'll hold back your record, Mr. Cvetic.
But I can't do that.
What's the matter? You don't trust me?
I trust you, but...
You think maybe I'll get curious and run it off?
No, look. I'll make it worth your while to hold up the whole batch for just 1 hour until I get there.
Tell me which record it is and I'll pull it. Otherwise, they all gotta go out in the next mail.
All right, let's not talk. I'm grabbing a taxi right now. I'm looking for Mr. DeGamo.
You got him?
Yeah, I phoned about my record an hour ago.
2 hours ago.
We got held up in a traffic jam.
Yeah, well, I thought you wasn't coming after all. I sent the records out.
Oh, no.
Half hour ago.
Where did you mail them?
No, not me, Vic.
Who's Vic?
The porter.
Where did he mail them, then?
He puts them in a cardboard box and on top of the mailbox. That way we don't monopolize the mails.
Which mailbox?
Got me. I leave it up to Vic.
Well, where is he?
He left for the day.
Then where does he live?
The racetrack. Probably on his way there right now.
Oh, never mind. I'll cruise around in a taxi or something. I'll try to locate the mailbox myself.
Be in a big paper box on top of the mailbox. Can't miss it. Taxi!
I don't blame anybody. except Revson and his kind. But I've got to keep my head. I've got to get back that record. North and south, east and west, warp and woof, the taxi weaves a pattern over the area that reaches 100 mailboxes. And then I see it. We're caught at a traffic light. I shove a large bill at the driver and jump out running. There's the mail collector now, locking up the box again.
Oh, wait!
He's climbing into the truck.
Oh, mailbag!
It's too late. For maybe the second time in my adult life, I'd break down and cry. Cry like a kid, like little boy Blue long ago.
January 7th, 1953, I Was a Communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of I Was a Communist for the FBI. Little Boy Blue Turned Red from January 7th, 1953.
Hello, Mom.
Oh, Marty.
Can I come in, Mom?
Come in, son.
Mom, I sent you something in the mail.
I know. The mailman just goes away.
I know. I was watching him. I saw him.
Tip looks at mail in living room. Tip, Marty is here.
May I drop in my tracks if I didn't know you'd be prowling around for this record?
I've got to have it, Tip.
Is this what you send me, Marty? Record?
2 bits worth. And even then on a slight Indian giver basis.
I wish I could explain, but I can't, that's all.
Mom, do me a favor. Bring in my portable record player. It isn't heavy.
No, Mom.
Go ahead, Mom.
No. No, Tip.
Look. It came in the U.S. mail. It's hers, isn't it?
Mom, I sent you a record that I made Monday. I said things in it that... well, they can make trouble for me.
That I want to hear. I'll get my record player.
Tip! Go on, Marty.
I came to ask you to give me the record back.
After we've heard it.
Before anybody hears it.
You said it would make Mom happy.
Oh, that's right.
Why don't you let her hear it then?
I can't tell you. If I did, I'd be telling you what's on the record.
Okay by me.
It isn't okay with me. At the worst, I'm not ready to die. And at the best... I don't want to give up the important work I'm doing.
Die?
Marty.
Oh, said too much.
You say die.
He also said he doesn't want to give up the important work he's doing. And what important work are you doing? Undermining our government and entire way of life. And if we hear that record, we might louse you up a bit. Too doggone bad. I'm going for my machine.
Stay where you are, Tip. Listen to me, both of you.
This man is an enemy of the United States.
This man, Tip, your own brother, your flesh and mine. You call this man?
He's a stranger to me.
Oh, it's all right, I suppose. Men fight each other. Sometimes brothers fight brothers. Sons fight fathers, kill each other. It's terrible, yes. But he's manly, I suppose. He's brave and strong. I don't know. I don't want for my son should die.
Mom.
Let her alone, can't you?
I promise, Mom. I'll make it all up to you someday.
Ted, give me the record my son make for me.
Here, Mom. Don't feel bad.
Marty.
Yes, Mom.
Marty. Long time ago, I buy you nice things too. No?
Sure.
Swell books, dandy books. Tell you nice story, huh?
The little toy dog is covered with dust, but sturdy and staunch he stands?
Yes. Was but little boy playing with toy soldiers. The little boy blue, what don't ever come back. Marty, here is the record.
Mom.
Someday I could play it, maybe, and be happy, son.
Someday.
Take care of yourself, son.
I have the record. Against a comrade's craft at exploiting human pain and tragedy, my mother has set her instinct and her mother's belief in her wayward son, like those eternal toy soldiers waiting in the dust of years, faithful to Little Boy Blue. But I can't go back. My friends, the people that once respected me, keep wondering, what's happened to Matt Cvetic? The answer is, Little Boy Blue turned red. I'm a communist for the FBI. I walk alone.
January 7th, 1953, I Was a Communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Well, now we're going to go way back to some of the earliest episodes of Lum and Abner. This episode goes all the way back to January 7th, 1935, and we hear the boys with their Southwest Oil Company.
Howdy, everybody. Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner, brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. And now, let's get ready for Lum and Abner. Well, the Pine Ridge Oil Company is no more. Lum and Abner and Grandpappy Spears sold their holdings to the Southwest Oil Company for $3,000 cash and a royalty of 10 cents per barrel on all the oil produced on the property. Well, after the deal was completed, they found that they had been the victims of another of Squire Skimp's schemes, as the Squire himself is the president of the Southwest Oil Company. And the Mr. Carter with whom they were dealing was only one of his henchmen. Well, as we look in on Pine Ridge today, Squire Skimp has already taken full charge of the oil business. And so we find Lum and Abner over at Lum's house explaining the transaction to their old friend, Dick Huddleston. Listen.
No, I don't believe there's any way for you to make him trade back if you've already delivered the deed to him.
Yeah, but we give him the deed before we found out Squire was the president of the company.
Yeah, we thought the Southwest Oil Company was an outfit in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, that telegram we got saying for us not to sell our property till a representative got here, that was from Tulsa.
Oh, yeah, this feller Carter's had come down here and made the deal with us. He's from Tulsa, all
yeah,
right.
that's it.
Squire just hired him to come out here and make the deal because he knowed we wouldn't sell it to him.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't worry about it, fellas. It doesn't make any difference who owns it. You got the $3,000 that he paid you in cash, and if you get your 10 cents a barrel royalty, why, you'll make just as much out of it this way as you would if you'd sold it to anybody else.
Yeah, if we get the royalty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feared of with Squire Skimp handling it. I wouldn't trust that feller no further than I can tote a any.
Now, we'll just have to sit over there by the oil well, and every time they haul a barrel of oil off the place, just put it down on a little book.
Yeah, we can keep up with it that way, all right.
Well, the thing to do is just have an auditor go in there once a month.
Yeah, I could do that. Have a who go in there once a month?
An auditor?
What's that?
What's that? Ain't you never rode on a train, Abner?
You don't mean to say you're going to run a train in there once a month?
Oh, Abner, auditor, only we ain't going to run him in there.
Yeah, a fella goes in there and audits the books once a month, Abner.
Yeah, a fella goes in there and audits the books once a month, Abner. Yeah.
Sees that they're keeping things right.
Yeah, sees that they're keeping things right. Tells them they ought to do this and they ought to do that. An auditor. That's a good idea. I'm glad I thought of that. That's a heap better than having to sit over and count every barrel that they haul off. I've been wondering how I could vacate myself and sit over there and count them barrels at the same time.
Well, now, if you just wanted to lay around and rest, why, you could get yourself a hammock and just sort of lay over and rest and count barrels too, huh?
Yeah, and I'd about get to counting them barrels and count myself right off to sleep. Like counting sheep. Yeah, Squire'd have 400 or 500 barrels slip by me before I knowed it.
Yeah, well, of course, you could hire somebody to keep you awake.
Well, me, if I was going to hire somebody to keep me awake, might as well have them count the barrels.
Yeah. Well, sure, that's the thing to do. Yeah, just let them count the barrels, and then you can lay there in a hammock and sleep all day. Vacate yourself.
Yeah, that'd be a fine vacation. It'd be a lot of fun. Lay out in a hammock all day by a oil well right here in the dead of winter and try to sleep.
Well, of course, everybody to their own notions. I know I wouldn't enjoy it, but if you want to do it, well, it ain't no business of mine. But I'll tell you now, Lum, I'd be awful careful about who you get to count them barrels. First thing you know, he about count himself off to sleep, too.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Of course, you could hire somebody to keep him awake, but if you start that, it just ain't no stopping place. He'd have to get somebody to keep him awake, and then he'd have to get somebody
Abner,
to keep him
don't
awake.
worry about it. Dick just said we wouldn't have to count them ourselves. We'll get a... What'd you call them things, Dick?
Train.
Auditors, Abner.
Oh, well, I know there's train in there someplace.
Abner, auditors works on trains. You saw 'em going up and down the aisles, got their names wrote right on 'em, up there on their caps.
Oh, you mean the fella that runs the store there on the train?
Does what, Abner?
Runs the store, you know, sells soda pop and peanuts and apples and postcards and all that stuff.
News butchers is what he means, Dick. One, Abner. Auditors tells the engineer what he ought to do and what he ought not to do. Tells him when to stop and stuff like that.
Well, kind of an auditor I'm talking about, though, is an accountant, Lum. Expert accountant, bookkeeper.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Well, which?
Which what?
Which one of them are we going to get?
I believe we better have the bookkeeper, Dick. That way I can help him.
Well, it'll cost you a little something, but it'll be money well spent, especially with Squire Skimp in there. They drill some more wells over there, like you say. Well, you fellas have a nice income off that property.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and Abner and Grandpap is dependent for the rest of our lives, you might say.
Yeah.
I'd have just druther it'd have been somebody else besides Squire Skimp we were going to have to deal with. That is, if I was having my druthers.
Oh, well, if you keep a close watch on him, Lum, it'll turn out all right. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, what makes me so dad blame mad letting him put it over on us that way? Looks like every way we turn, we get mixed up with Squire Skimp in spite of all we can do.
Yeah, I'm sure glad we made them sign that agreement saying they'd resume all their responsibilities of the company. If he bankrupts the thing or something like that, I don't want him coming back to us for part of the money.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you had him sign that all right.
Yeah, yonder comes Grandpap up out there now, Lum, just coming through the gate.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead with the meeting now.
Well, you fellas be wanting to talk business. I better get on back over
Don't rush off, Dick. We ain't going to talk no secrets.
No.
I just thought we better have a meeting of the stockholders and figure out how much we owe and then divide the rest of the $3,000 up twixt us.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get my part of that, too. Send for Elizabeth and Pearl. They've been so hard pushed for cash, I just had to leave them down there in Texas investing their relays till we could get some money out of this oil well.
I bet you're getting pretty lonesome for him, too, aren't you, Abner?
Oh, my, yes. I just been going around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Well, you fellas now are going to have a lot of time to loaf now. You sold your oil well and everything. Why, come down there in the store and see me.
Come in, Grandpap. Yeah, howdy, man, howdy.
Well, hello, Grandpap.
Yeah, how you, Richard?
Well, all right, fine. Lum and Abner just tell me about the deal he made.
Yeah, pretty good trade Lum made, I think.
Yeah, sure was. Well, I'll see you fellas later then.
Yeah. So long.
Sit down, Grandpap.
Yeah. Scat, get out of there.
Yeah, let Grandpap have the chair there, Geraldine. You better get on back there and see them kittens of yours. They'll be getting lonesome for you. Jump down. There's a saucer of milk sitting under the safe back there in the kitchen tray.
Swan Lung, you talk to that cat just like she was a human.
Oh, she's smart as most humans. Understands anything I tell her. Well, we better get the meeting started, I reckon.
Yeah,
let's get it over with, huh? Never seen no use to have a meeting, no way.
Why, of course not.
Well, meeting is called to order then. Secretary will read the minutes of the
Now, Lum, let's don't get into all that stuff. Let's get the meeting over with.
All right. Well, we got to have a treasury report. Who is the treasury? That's right. Well, we got all the bills here. I can read them.
Yeah, go ahead. How much do they come to, Lum? What do they all amount to there?
Well, I ain't figured them up yet. Grandpap, take that pencil and paper there and set these figures down when I call them out. We got to add them up.
All right, let's have them now.
Well, first I think we ought to stand and give a rising vote of thanks to the chairmen of the board for making such an uncommonly good deal for us.
Oh, Lum, we'll be here all night if you start that kind of stuff. Let's get that money divided up.
Well, Abner, we can't just jump right out in the middle of it. Swan, I never seen a feller as missionary over money as you are in my life. Money ain't everything, you know.
Yeah, maybe not, but it comes mighty close to being, I'll say that.
All right, I'll stand up and give a rising vote of thanks myself. The harp strings of memory strikes a tender chord as I stand
now, Lum,
here
if you don't
before
shut that up, now me and Grandpap both is going to get right up and walk right out of here right now.
All right. If you don't want things run the way they ought to be, we'll just illuminate that part of it.
Well, let's get started.
Here's the figures, Grandpap. You put them down.
We stole a day here over nothing.
Lumber for building the office and the derrick on the oil well, $373. Now, while I'm on my feet, I might mention that I happen to know that the chairman of the board talked Walter Bates down $5 on that bill.
And doggy about it never know it. It don't sound like it'd been cut down none.
Quit interrupting, Abner.
Yeah, let Lum get done. Go ahead.
Caleb Wee Hunt for drilling the well, $50.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's worked every day since then. Fact is, he's worked night and day. His time runs to $96.
Uh-huh.
And Cedric's time amounts to $34.
Too much for Cedric.
Here's a bill for all the barrels that we bought in there at the county seat.
Yeah, let's put the oil in over
at the hardware company. 456 barrels at $3.70 apiece. Comes to $1,687.20.
For the land's sake.
Well, Abner, we had to have them.
I don't care. It's too much money.
Furniture for the new office, $265.
That's all for you, too.
I aim to take that back after we sold out, but Squire claims it went with the deal.
Why, of course he would. Yeah, depend on him.
Now, here's a bill from Dick Huddleston for $40. That's
$40?
Well, that's for that wire to fence off the ground over there, keep folks away from the well.
Oh, yeah, that's money well spent.
And here's Caleb turned in a statement of the labor charges over there for the crew. And he says they're getting impatient wanting their money, too.
Natural.
The whole thing amounts to $492.80.
Yeah.
That's all of it. Add that up, Grandpap. I think that covers everything. We can all three go into the bank tomorrow and cash this check and pay off these bills and then divide what's left up 3 ways twixt.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. And then I can go right straight to the post office and send Elizabeth a money order and get her and Pearl back home.
Well, man, that totals $3,030.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Let me look at that. According to that, we owe $10 apiece. Undoubtedly must be some mistake about that.
Well, so far, it looks like everybody in Pine Ridge has benefited by the discovery of that oil well except the members of the Pine Ridge Oil Company. Mr. and Mrs. Baldwin have spent the evening visiting friends. They're on their way home now. Let's listen to them as they walk along talking.
Did you have a nice time, Tom?
Oh, fine.
The Fishers are lots of fun, aren't they?
You bet, Mrs. Fisher especially. Oh, Bert's kind of a bore, always talking about himself.
Uh-huh. Seems to me you were doing a bit of that yourself tonight.
Who, me? Say, I didn't have a chance. Every time I started, Bert interrupted me.
I think Bert's very interesting, much more so than Martha Fisher.
Bert, interesting? That's funny.
Well, I had a nice time anyway.
Well, I didn't say I didn't have a nice time. I just said that I get kind of tired listening to Bert. You know, Mrs. Fisher's certainly a real hostess. Wasn't that Horlicks delicious? The best malted milk I've ever tasted.
You're not going to give Martha credit for that, are you?
Oh, why not? She mixed up that glass of Horlicks, didn't she?
Horlicks is always delicious, no matter who mixes it. I could do every bit as well as Martha Fisher.
Oh, so that's it, huh? You women certainly are a jealous lot.
Nonsense, but I don't want to see Martha Fisher get credit for something that the makers of Horlicks are responsible for.
Well, I'm willing to be convinced, but you'll have to prove it to me, though. I'll tell you what you do. Have a big glass of Horlicks waiting for me when I get home from the office tomorrow, and then I'll let you know if it's as good as that we had at Fisher's tonight. And listen, Get a big package of Horlicks. Then we'll always have it on hand to serve to folks that we're entertaining. You know, everybody likes Horlicks, and that's a mighty fine late evening drink because it won't keep you awake later, as so many beverages do.
And there's a mighty good point, folks. One reason why Horlicks is such a wonderful drink to serve in the evening. Far from keeping you awake later, Horlicks before going to bed relaxes and soothes, helps you to fall asleep easily and quickly. And Horlicks is such a delicious, refreshing drink. As Tom Baldwin said, everybody loves Horlicks malted milk. You can get Horlicks, you know, in either natural or chocolate flavor. This is Carlton Brickert, speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlicks, who bid you all good night and good health.
January 7th, 1935, Lum and Abner, and let you hear what they were peddling back then with this Horlicks malted milk. I still drink malted milk, but man, that was a mess. Anyway, we thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me. You can find our social media links, and you can also buy me a copy. The Buy Me a Copy money helps us acquire additional classic radio collections and helps us continue keeping our keeping our distribution channels up and running. And by the way, the Lum and Abner coming from Ted, radiomemories.com, fully restored in really good sound. That's radiomemories.com. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.